Well. I know some of you guys might be thinking I'm the fool for saying Monster Hunter has a chance, but I was just going off of what I thought at the time. If you look back further, I've been saying for a long time that I didn't think Monster Hunter would get in, mainly due to the fact that the character would play way too similar to Byleth, but also it always felt weird to have Rathalos in already. And I mean, if you're going to put Rathalos in, you should put Monster Hunter in it in the base game. Seems like they could have negotiated it at the time, but they went against it. We had those articles about how the creators of Monster Hunter didn't want the hunter to be a character in a fighting game, and that was more so talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite kind of debunks that, because Monster Hunter was added in, it kind of stands to reason, well, why should we look at that for Smash? And, well, seems like all the creator wanted in Smash was Rathalos, or maybe that's all Nintendo and Sakurai wanted in Smash instead. To me, it was very interesting how Sakurai just straight up said, yeah, we're putting this character in as a Mii fighter because Monster Hunter Rise is coming out soon. Like, he just straight up said, yeah, we're doing it because of this. Like, normally he doesn't say that stuff, and normally we don't have characters that really coincide with another game's release. I mean, everyone always suspects that. What if they announce this because then this game will come out? What if they announce this because this game's coming out? They never do that. And for me, this particular set of Mii fighters, they actually did it. It's kind of upsetting that it was only 4 Miis, and we didn't get like a super awesome one, like what Papagenos calls them and what Aaron Nitmar calls them are deluxe Mii costumes, which is where like they have the like a really badass mask where the mask basically recreates that character's face, or it's just such a good mask that you don't really need to like make a Mii face. Bomberman's an example of that, so is Cuphead and Sans, and you know, with there's only 4, it's kind of sad. Like, why didn't they just put another one in? It's also strange to note that there's only 4 this time, and they also didn't use the Lloyd Mii costume, but it seems like for this one, they stuck to mostly Capcom. In fact, all of it was Capcom. And the Ghosts and Goblins Mii costume was a nice surprise that made me actually kind of excited. When I first saw it, I went, oh, so cool. So I'm probably not getting the Monster Hunter ones, but I probably will get Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, because I did not expect Arthur to get in the game ever. Like, not even as... Like, if Arthur ever got in, it would be as an assist trophy. And it would be such an annoying assist trophy. It would just be just another reason to turn off assist trophies, because I feel like they haven't been fun since Brawl, in my opinion. They're always so powerful and so devastating that I really only like having them on just to see them. And I don't really think they're not... Sometimes they ruin the fun for some people. So having Arthur in the game as a Mii costume is a huge victory royale in my opinion, but I know some people are going to be upset that Monster Hunter is no longer coming, but to be fair, I kind of had it down between 4 or 5 characters. Monster Hunter was one of them, and we can take Monster Hunter off the list. In my opinion, deconfirmations are not bad. Yes, I was very upset to see Travis Touchdown get deconfirmed, but if our goal is just to try to predict who's coming next, then for me, the more deconfirmations, the better. In fact, I'd rather get deconfirmed early so that way I don't have to worry about it. I think a great example of that was when Isaac and Shadow weren't deconfirmed. We didn't see their spirit, or we didn't see their assist trophies yet. And so we were like, maybe Sonic will have an Echo of Shadow. Maybe Isaac will get put in the actual game this time. And then like they just ended up staying as assist trophies, and that kind of was upsetting for people. But, like, Sakurai waited till the very last video to deconfirm them as characters. So, yeah, sometimes it's better just to have them deconfirmed already. Like, in my opinion, it's nice knowing that Heihachi isn't going to get in, which also means Tekken's probably not getting in. It's nice to see that, like, Travis Touchdown isn't getting in, because it's like, okay, well, now I don't have to keep thinking he might get in later. The fact we still don't have Ryu Hayabusa is strange, because it's like, damn, dude, like... He's really not a Mii costume yet, and there's a chance that he doesn't even have a spirit in Smash. To me, it always rubs me off like maybe he will get put in later. Like, because, I mean, how could they not give him a spirit at this point, considering how close Team Ninja is to Koei Tecmo to Nintendo? That's just crazy to me. But maybe they don't want Ryu Hayabusa, and I would not blame them for not wanting Ryu Hayabusa. So sometimes I think Ryu Hayabusa is such a shoo-in, but at the same time, I'm always like, yeah, but do they even want Ryu? Like, but then again, they have like Bayonetta in the game, so it's like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But Bayonetta got in from fans. I don't know. I go back and forth on this all the time. And I guess Terry is just as obscure as Ryu Hayabusa, if not more. So So I mean, I guess we could have Ryu Hayabusa in, but I was also always looking at Crash and Pokemon, and my next guess would always is like the more crazy one, but it'd be Waluigi, which I know is crazy, but I think there should be a little bit of wiggle room for something really crazy coming, and I mean I think Sephiroth was part of that craziness. I think if they can put Sephiroth in, they can put Waluigi in, but I don't know about Dr. Robotnik or anything like that. I think we should wait and see. While playing Smash the other day, I went to the Spirits section, and then I noticed on the main menu they have just Eggman. Like his spirit is just dead center. So to me, it would be really weird if his spirit is right there and then he ends up being a playable character. But to be fair, he's right next to Naked Snake, who looks identical to Solid Snake. So it's not that weird. It's kind of like, yeah, maybe it makes sense. But yeah, it could be kind of strange. But we could see. I really like what they did with the spirits for Xenoblade 2. I really like that Rex is getting an upgrade where he now levels up from level, like, what he can now go to level 99. And his level 90, or sorry, he evolves. Some spirits can evolve, like Shadow can evolve to Super Shadow and stuff like that. X can evolve to like Armor X. So to me, it looks pretty badass. It's a 4-star spirit once you level it up. So I am very curious to see how powerful this Rex spirit can get. I'm going to first thing probably send my Rex spirit, which I already have one, into the level 99 training and get him start working on that. And I always like to get the spirits. That's one of the first things I like to do with my new characters is play the classic mode and then get the spirits, and then I start doing stuff. So yeah, very excited to see this character in action, by the way. Very happy about it. But yeah, when it comes to Mies, Monster Hunter totally deconfirmed. It's really nice to have this deconfirmed right off the bat, because I was saying if Monster Hunter isn't shown off and during this little portion and we have to keep waiting for Monster Hunter, that's sus. That's sus. But what also is sus is the fact that, again, Lloyd didn't get showed off. And there's that one rumor, we don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of it adds up. There's that one rumor that they were possibly planning Lloyd. In my opinion, Lloyd has a lot of credibility to him, but if they don't do Lloyd, they could always do a different Tales of character, because Tales of Vesperia is also very popular and just got re-released on the new consoles as well, or last year. So, and when I play Project Crosstone, you play as the characters from Tales of Vesperia. So, in my opinion, I'm totally fine with having that. I think his name's like Yuri. I could be wrong. I'm sorry, Tales of fans. I don't know if there's that many Tales of fans out there, but for a long time, people have always wanted Lloyd in Smash because his moveset would just actually work perfectly. But Yuri, if that is his name, I'll just call him the Tales of Vesperia character. His moveset is pretty much the same thing. It's up B, down B, forward B, and like back B, stuff, neutral B, stuff like that. Like this to do your special moves in the Tales of games, you just hit different directions and the special button. And if you play Tales of Symphonia, which is the one that has Lloyd in it, the character we all talk about, that game, it's on a GameCube controller, so it's even more like Smash because it's literally B is your special moves. So yeah, and then there's also Tales of Fantasia on Super Nintendo, which was a Japanese only game. But if you were into the emulation scene, you may have been able to play an English hack, which I did, and my older brother got very far into. I remember watching him play it. I remember trying to play it myself, and that game was really cool because it was like 2D, 16-bit, and it was like a fighting game, but it's an RPG. That's why the Tales of games are cool. Tales of Fantasia is very good, and Tales of Symphonia I played on GameCube, and I enjoyed that too. So yeah, I would love to play as these characters in Smash. I have literally no issue with them. My only complaint is that if you're going to put another Namco character in, I really think you should go with like a Tekken character above anyone else. But I could see some arguments for some other Namco characters, but I really don't see why they should put in like a Tales of character over them. But at the same time, I don't want to say Tales of doesn't deserve it, and that's not what I'm saying at all. But in fact, I think Tales of totally does deserve it. I just think that maybe Heihachi should have gotten in, but at this point, Tekken is pretty much deconfirmed. Honestly, at this point, Capcom is basically all deconfirmed. The only character I think left that Capcom could really get away with would be Dante, but there's been so many Capcom Mii spirits, but a lot of them were like returning ones. Like the Mega Man ones are returning ones, and the Monster Hunter ones are mostly returning ones. And then it's just Sir Arthur also coming out is kind of like, okay, that to me, if it wasn't just all Monster Hunter, maybe I could say Capcom still has a chance. But in my opinion, because Arthur is also coming out, it's sort of like saying, nah, there's no Capcom. Like, Capcom's not getting another fighter in Smash. Between the Resident Evil spirits, between Monster Hunter being deconfirmed just now, I mean, the only character left really is Dante. I know people say Phoenix Wright, but I know, and I know it's not a meme. I know people really want Phoenix Wright. I don't blame you. I think Phoenix Wright's cool and would be cool in Smash, but I just think that idea is so outlandish, and I would just like to bring things back to somewhat closer bit of reality for the speculation scene. Which, by the way, none of the 4 characters that were announced so far for Pass 2 were out of the realm of possibility. And the only one for Pass 1 that was out of the realm of possibility was Terry. He was the only one that was truly out of left field. But sometimes Sakurai's like, yeah, but I just wanted him. And so it's like, okay, fine. So the only one truly out of left field for all the DLC so far would be Piranha Plant and Terry. And Piranha Plant was like a bonus free character, so it makes sense when you think about it, but no one would have guessed Piranha Plant. Nobody would have guessed that. So the only character really out of the... So, like, it's but in my opinion, Phoenix Wright is so far down there that, like, including him is different from including Terry, because Terry is, like, the most iconic SNK character, and Terry comes with, like, all the SNK, like, songs possible. Like, he even has like Metal Slug songs and stuff. Like, Terry just has a shit ton of SNK representation all wrapped into one character. Pretty much the entire cast of King of Fighters is there in his stage, kind of confirming if they're not going to do another character from King of Fighters unless it is like in the next Smash game. And the funny thing is, Terry's emblem is like the star on his, like, his, just like Terry's logo. It's not like KOF. It's not like, because I think Ryu's is like SF for Street Fighter. It's not KOF, it's not FF for Fatal Fury, though I guess that would be confusing with Final Fantasy being FF. But again, Final Fantasy, with Cloud, they could have made it just a Meteor, and that same Meteor logo could have fit with both Cloud and Sephiroth, but instead they went with FF for Final Fantasy. And, I mean, I kind of respect that, but with Terry, it's not like that at all. Terry, it's like, no, Terry is the only King of Fighters character coming at all, unless they make another Smash game. But yeah, I mean, even then, I would not think they would add more King of Fighters characters anytime soon. Though I would love to see Kyo and Iori get in there somehow. That'd be fucking badass. Either way, I would love to see Chun-Li, but I think a lot of those characters are not happening. Capcom deconfirmed, in my opinion. I don't like. Again, Dante is the only one who really has a chance at this point, and I just think there's so much stacked against him. I think that any Capcom character is like, you should just not put too much stock in that. You should just be like, if they put Dante in, cool, I'll be happy. But the likelihood of getting Dante is just, it's not really there right now. So we're probably not getting Dante, and we're probably not getting Sora. So you guys can just lower your expectations on that front. Probably not getting 2B either. So who are we getting next? I mean, again, that's why I'm looking more at Crash. Crash has nothing going against him at all whatsoever. There is not a single thing going against Crash. So but Doom even has the Vault Boy coming out earlier kind of goes against Doomslayer. And the fact that, Doomslayer was, I don't think, ever really that popular of a choice back in the day kind of also, I think, hurts him. So I don't think we're getting Doomslayer. If Sakurai can turn around and say, I don't think people actually want Waluigi, then, for you guys to say, we want Doomslayer, it's like, yeah, but you're going to have to really prove it to Sakurai. Whereas Crash, I think, earned his spot in video game history anyway. So I think we're good with Crash. I think Crash is the only one who's... Crash and Ryu Hayabusa are really the only two I think are a really strong chance. And then, of course, a Pokemon character. But, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like if they're going to do a Pokemon character, they would have already done it. And back in the day, I used to say they'll probably only do, like, two Nintendo characters and probably, like, maybe one more Spirit be turned into a character. I kept saying that. I kept saying, like, they're probably not going to keep doing this over and over and over. And so far, I feel like the fact that Pyra got in, because I always said it could be Rex or Pokemon or Geno, but it's not going to be like all three of them, I was like, it can be like some of these, but I was like, probably one at most. And I was basically saying that look out for a Pokemon, don't count on Rex and Pyra, and don't count on Geno. And then what happened was that Pyra came out, I was like, well, shit, son. So now I don't know about the Pokemon character. So I would love it if it was Ryu Hayabusa and Crash Bandicoot. To me, that's probably the best case scenario. But if they add in a crazy fucking character that I didn't expect at all, I would be totally happy with that. You know, I want something completely unexpected. I want a character who's not super high up on people's like popularity lists. Similar to Terry. Terry was like that. Terry was a character that nobody was expecting, nobody was wanting, no one was asking for. Then when we got him, all these people who are huge King of Fighters fans all stood up and shouted. And me, as a fighting game fan, King of Fighters wasn't my favorite game growing up, but I did play it. But one of my favorite fighting games of all time is Capcom vs. SNK 2, and that is a game that kept me playing SNK games. It made me interested in SNK. In fact, I bought a lot of. I actually own like King of Fighters Maximum Impact, which is like a 3D one, and I got KOF 14, and I got KOF 13 on my PC. And I started getting good as Terry and Mai and Kyo and stuff like that. And then after that, once Terry was already in Smash, me and my little brother spent a lot of time playing all of the King of Fighters games throughout the years. And now I'm like a big, like I know a lot about KOF now. And KOF is freaking awesome. So I'm really excited about KOF 15 coming out. So, like, you know, I want characters like that. I want a character that I didn't know I wanted. And then when I see it, I'm like so happy. And it was funny because even my older brother was like, who is the new character right now? And I was like, it's Byleth, but did you even see Terry? And he was like, Terry? Terry who? And I'm like, Terry Bogard. He goes, Terry Bogard's in this game. Like, yeah, motherfucker, Terry Bogard's in Smash. Like, you believe that shit? Isn't that the best thing ever? So, yeah, I know it might be a little bit of a boomer pick. It might be something for the hardcore fighting game fans. But, you know, who plays Smash? Fighting game boomers. That's who plays Smash. So, and then obviously that's not everyone. But that is a chunk of people who play Smash. I'm one of them. So, yeah, I'm really happy about that. And I want a character like that. I want my next character to be like that. I know Sephiroth was kind of like a boomer surprise pick, but I want one of the next two to be like that. I don't need to be the absolute next one. But, yeah. So right now I'm really banking on Crash and Ryu Hayabusa as my two most likely, with a small chance of a Pokemon still happening. And yeah, but I don't know who else. So we'll just have to see. Oh yeah, but also, I mean, if they do put a Tales of character in instead of like Crash or instead of Ryu, I would be totally fine with that. Lloyd has like two swords and they're really his like final weapon swords. He starts with like two katanas, but eventually he gets like these like elemental swords. And I remember when that game came out, like some of the moves looked really fucking badass. I never beat Tales of Symphonia. I only played a little bit of it. I barely scratched the surface of Tales of Symphonia. But I do own the HD version of it on my PS3, but sadly I don't really play PS3 anymore. And I have Tales of Vesperia installed on my PC right now, but I haven't played it yet. I have never touched Tales of Vesperia. But either way, I probably will if they announce them for Smash. I won't lie. I've been replaying Xenoblade 2 for a reason. So, yeah, I would love to see anything about that stuff. I would love to see a Tales of character in Smash, but I think I would still prefer Ryu or Crash over both of them, and those are the two that I think don't have as much going against them. And remember, Rex and Pyra were always on my list. They were never not on the list, okay? They just were lower than other characters. But they were never on the absolutely not happening side of the list, okay? Only in Season 1 they were. But this is Season 2 and things are different. So, that being said, that's all we really need. That's all we know for now. We know that another character got deconfirmed. It's always exciting when a character gets announced because by the time they come out, it deconfirms other characters and it gets things really going. You know, like I remember when Sephiroth came out, I was like, I feel like Gino's already deconfirmed, and then Gino got super deconfirmed, and it's like, yeah, but I mean, unless they were going to do a wave 3, which I don't see them doing right now, then I was like, well, unless they do a wave 3, then Gino's not happening anyway, because they're not going to do 2 Square Enix characters in one. But I don't know. Yeah. Either way, Gino's not happening. Hayachi's not happening. Travis Touchdown's not happening. And lastly, Monster Hunter is not happening. So I have no clue as to who's coming next at all. So I just have nothing to go off of at this point. all I can say is that Crash and Ryu Hayabusa have nothing going against them so far. So that being said, I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.